Hello, my loves. My name is Jasmine. I'm an inner work coach, and I'm here to help you learn how to love your life. And today we are going to be talking about relationships, why it's okay that you have super high standards, and why it's okay to be picky with men. Your relationship is a beautiful reflection of your standards for yourself. It reflects how you allow yourself to be treated, who you will allow yourself to be around, and the type of person that you really want to be. Sometimes it's harder to implement boundaries with the people that we know super well. We know how they are going to, like how they're gonna respond, and we don't like to make the people that are closest to us upset. So if you're really good at implementing boundaries with friends, families, and especially your romantic partner, then it's a really, really good reflection of, okay, I am really confident in implementing boundaries, and I know the standards that I have for myself and the things that I'm comfortable doing. If you're staying in a relationship that you're not getting treated well in, it's honestly how you're allowing yourself to get treated. It's not all about your partner. So when I'm talking to you about relationships in general, future videos to come, I'm always going to focus on what you can do in your relationship, because you cannot change another person, you can't manage another person, and you can't force them to do anything. So we have to focus on you and what you're going on, what you're choosing, what you're allowing, because at the bottom line, at the end of the day, there's certain things that you're allowing to happen, especially if you're in the position where you can break up with your partner. You have to determine the things that you're okay with and the things that you're not, but what you're not changing, you're choosing. I love that quote. So if you are choosing to be in a relationship with a person that's not treating you well, that's pushing your boundaries after you've stated them, then that's a choice that's up to you. And it's also up to you to choose now in 2025 to leave. Keep your standards high in 2025. Okay, so relationships are also a reflection of your inner work, and it will point to what trauma, what area of your life, or what past healing you need to do. When I first got into my relationship, realized that I had a codependency issue because I had an anxious attachment style. Down the line, I'll make a video about attachment styles and everything like that, but I was very codependent. That came up and showed me that, okay, I need to heal this. And I realized I wasn't just codependent on him, I was becoming codependent on my family too. And I didn't like that. So that's something that I really needed to work on to change. So allow your relationship. I'm not saying you always have to break up with the person because there's something that you don't like or you see something coming up. Relationships will point to what you need to work on. I decided to fix it instead of just being like, I am the way that I am, like this is just me, I'm just gonna do whatever. No, I don't want to sit here and stress my partner out because I have a codependency issue and I need him to text me 24/7. That's not something that I'm comfortable with continuing. So choose what you're comfortable with continuing. Choose the person that you want to be. That's why it's so important to have a partner that will allow that to be reflected, but also allow you to fix it yourself. Your partner shouldn't be tearing down the things about you, like, oh, well, you have a codependency issue, you need to fix that. Like, it should be said with love if they are going to point it out, and then if they're not going to point it out, just allow you to work through it, and then just be a support system while you're working through your own inner work, while you support them while they're working through their own. But yeah, it'll reflect your attachment styles. It will reflect whether or not you have a fear of abandonment. It will show if you have some type of childhood issue that you need to work on, whether you have an issue not with codependency, but actually depending on someone, whether you have issues trusting someone. And then when you see it in your relationship, you can be like, okay, why is this an issue? Like, where is this coming from? Then you can start to deep dive. So that's all about you. But there are other aspects of your life that a relationship will impact. It touches so many things, guys, so many things. Something to genuinely consider, especially if you are a family person. Your relationship will impact your relationship with your family and your friends immensely. People try to act like your relationship isn't really going to impact that, and if they don't like your family or your friends, then it's not going to be an issue, or if they're not a family or friend person, it's not going to be an issue. But I want you to really think about how this is going to, how this will play out in the long term for life, how it will play out for your holidays, for birthdays, if you like hosting, how it'll play out for hosting. Like, you want your person to be able to be around your family and your friends, and you want to be around theirs if that is something that you desire. Oh, another really good one is phone calls. This will, if you, okay, so like, even if the person is like a family and friends person, like when I was dating my husband, my boyfriend at the time, he if I was like on the phone with my sister, like I would be on the phone with my family all the time, granted. But if I was on the phone, because like I said, codependency issues, but those are healed now. But when I was on the phone with my sister, because he is a family and friends person, he would just kind of like chime in sometimes. Like if I'm on the phone, he would be like listening to the conversation and chiming in. Not to say that that was an issue, but that was an adjustment at first, because I'm like, why are you talking to like my family if I'm talking to my family? I'm in the middle of a conversation, you're over here giving your opinion on what's going on. Now of course I love it and I learned to accept it, but it was really weird for me at first, because why are you in my conversation, for lack of a better way to put it? But I enjoy it, and sometimes I need to have private conversations with my family or my friends, and so I'll just go to a different room, or I'll let him know like, hey, I just need to kind of lock in with this. But he's a friendly person, and so that that's something that was impacted with my relationship that I just really did not think about. They will also impact your vision for the future. This one kind of goes without saying, but I really want you, as we're opening the year, and as some of you guys are dating and some of you guys are thinking about getting married, what does their future vision look like? And for me, because me and my husband really grew together, and we're still growing together a lot. Our relationship is not perfect. We're not perfect people by any means. So when we were coming together, and I used to be watching sermons and like, what's it called? Like reading books on relationships, looking at like TikToks, whatever. RIP TikTok if it stays. But when we first started dating, people really scared me with, your person needs to have a vision, because that wasn't something that he really looked at, if I'm being honest. Like, it wasn't something that he was like, here's my 5-year plan, here's what I know what I'm doing, we're going to be doing this, this, and this, I have this goal here, I have this goal here. And that's how everybody would describe it. And I was like, should I break up with this man? Like, if I asked him, and it would honestly bring in stress to our relationship, well, what are we gonna do? Like, what's your plan? What is this? What is that? And he's like, I don't know, like, I'm just figuring out life. Like, I wanna make sure that I can support my family, and that I can support you if, you know, you wanna do whatever, and that we can travel, and that's kind of like it. And I used to be really stressed out, because I'm like, is that enough by other people's standards? And the thing is that it's not about other people's standards, it's about my standards. And I didn't even have a 5-year plan for myself. I'm like, well, where do I want to be in 5 years? I don't know. I don't know where I want to be career-wise. I don't know where I want to be, you know, family-wise. Like, I'm still kind of figuring it out too. So that was something that we are still working to figure out, and something that we're figuring out together, because life changes so quickly. So the way that I was able to move past this without him having a documented 5-year plan was, I looked at values were and what his actions were doing to reflect the type of life that we were going to have later on. His values, like I said, for me, family and friends are super important. He valued family and friends, so I knew later on in life, when we talked about holidays, birthdays, like for example, Christmas is super important to my mom. He's like, we'll make sure that we see your mom on Christmas, like, and your family of course, but like that's her holiday. Like, she loves that thing down. But he's like, we'll make sure that we see her. In regards to being like financially stable, because the one thing that I knew, and that I know for sure now, is that I want to be out of debt. I don't want to be in debt anymore. I'm done with debt. I want to get out of student loan debt, credit card debt, etc., etc. Like I'm so over it, guys. I'm so over it. But was that a goal for him? How did he manage his money? Did he have a job that he was seemingly working towards something? Like is he actually moving and progressing and growing in life? Spiritually, does it seem like he's growing in life? Are we headed in the same direction spiritually, which was a big thing for our relationship? Like, are we moving at all? Like, what are our Sundays gonna look like? Like, can we pray together, like that sort of thing? So really evaluate during that time period, like what is this gonna look like years down the line if things keep going the way that they're going now? I think that's what you should ask in order to evaluate whether or not you want to continue in the path that you're going and with the standards that you have. And if they're not headed in that direction, then to me. But I always say that it's so important to have a prayer life and to learn how to hear from God for your own self, because sometimes things may seem like they're not going in the right direction, and God will say, like, stay strong, pray about it, like, let me do some work so I can work on this person. And sometimes God will tell you to go ahead, leave, cut it off, and whichever one God is telling you to do, you need to listen. But pray about it consistently and you will figure it out. I promise you, you will figure it out. God will give you an answer on that. He understands how important it is to choose a good partner. Also, something to consider is relationships will change your sense of style. And I don't want you guys to be alarmed when I say this, because my husband isn't like, you have to wear this and you can't wear that. That's not what I mean. It can be like that. You can be in a relationship that's like that, and just red flag it, because that's a sign of toxicity. But what I mean by this is even us girls, we like certain things. When you look at your man, or when you look at a man, you like certain things on the man and you don't like certain things on the man, okay? The same thing goes for them, for us. This is not to say that you have to change your style once you're in your relationship, because you don't have to do anything. You don't have to change anything. But like, let's say that you're used to wearing clothes that are a little bit more revealing, a little more scandalous, like, you know, let's say that your partner does not like you dressing like that. Let's say that you are very strong-willed, period. Love that for you. And you're like, I'm not changing how I'm dressing just because we got in a relationship. You knew I dressed like this when I got in a relationship. Thing is regardless, it is a point of pain and a point of possible arguments in your relationship. And that's why I mean by they change how you dress and they change your style. Because now when I'm getting dressed, if I put on these shorts, instead of before you just get dressed, you put on your little short shorts and your crop top and keep pushing, and it's like, oh, look cute today, whatever. Now when you look in the mirror, you could have two reactions, like, oh, he's not gonna like this. Should I put this on? Should I change? Or you gotta have a reaction where it's like, I'm gonna wear what I want. I don't care if it's gonna start an argument. I don't care. Da, 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 da. Now you created this level of, the word that's coming to mind is like aggression, but I don't know if that's the word that I want to use. But for time being, we'll use that now. Now you have a level of aggression already, or a wall. You have a wall already when you come up to your partner. So you get dressed, you're about to go out. Now you have an attitude of, if he says something about the way that I dress, I'm gonna go off. If he says something about my outfit, I'm gonna have an attitude. Like he better not say something about the way that I'm dressed today, because I promise you, I'm not in the mood. It's gonna go down. That's what I mean by it changes your style. Regardless of what you think, it impacts your relationship. So it's just something to keep in mind. The rule of thumb that I personally use is, if my husband, like, let's say like he didn't like the dress that I have on today, which he loves this dress, it's super cute, love my dress, but if he didn't like the dress that I had on and he was like, I just don't like the color, the cut of it, whatever, like I just not a fan of it, I'd be like, okay, maybe if I already have it on, I'll keep it on. Like if it's too late to change. If I have time to change, I'll go back and change. And then I'll just wear this dress when I'm out with my friends because I like it. So it doesn't mean that you have to change your style completely and that you can't wear what you want to wear. But it's just like, if he has on a shirt that I feel like looks frumpy, I'd be like, babe, can you change your shirt? Like and he'll go change. And same thing for me. So it's kind of about being able to compromise and just being understanding that we like certain things, we don't like certain things, and it's possible your style could change. Last thing. They have a huge impact on our mindset, our self-esteem. I don't care what anybody says. If it doesn't impact you, it does. Especially if you are, with him. That's a whole different topic of conversation. Just mentally, emotionally, spiritually has an impact. However, like I said with the style, how even if you feel like it doesn't have a direct impact, it does, because it's adding in extra thoughts when you're getting dressed. Same thing with your mindset and how you approach life. If how much you're working, how much money you want to make, what type of food that you are cooking, your sense of encouragement, your inner voice, your self-esteem. You have someone that is so close to you and they have the ability to speak so much life into you, but they also have the ability to suck that life out of you. And so when you are looking at your relationship, look at how they speak to their friends, how they speak to their family, how they treat strangers. Look at all of it and the standards that you have and the way that you want to be treated. Don't allow it to just, kind of dwindle away, especially if you are with your person early on in your relationship. It puts blinders on for negative qualities. And so you start to kind of like let things slide. And when you're dating and you're early in your relationship, that is the time to do a real evaluation of, am I okay with this? If this keeps going the way that it's going, am I going to be okay with this? Do I accept this person fully for who they are? He's close to you and his mood, his energy, I don't know about you guys, but if let's say my husband is in a bad mood and I'm like, what's wrong, baby? What's going on? Nothing, I'm fine. Everything's fine. I don't have an attitude. There's not an issue. And I know him, so I know that there's an issue. Now I'm kind of annoyed. It's like, okay, if you don't want to say whatever's going on, fine, I can move on from it. But it's kind of irritating, especially if you have someone that's next to you and you're doing something together and they're not in a great mood and you're trying to be in a great mood. That impacts you. How they live their life, the mood that they're in, the type of person that they are will impact you and you impact them. So it's really important to just keep your standards, girl. If you let a man ruin your life, he will ruin your life. Choose the right person that will be able to treat you the way that you deserve to get treated. Don't go about this nonchalantly. Don't, just because you got your blinders on, take the blinders off. Take them off. Talk to your friends and your family, get their honest opinion about your partner so you can see things before you're 3-4 years in the game and then you're like, but I break up with him now, I have to have an excuse to break up with him, which is a lie, but I have to have an excuse to break up with him. I put so much into this, we're living together, we have a dog together, we were talking about getting married. His mom's my best friend, I'm close with his grandma, and now you're so deep into this, and for all the other reasons you feel like you can't break up with this person because you spent so much time allowing yourself to get treated a certain way that it feels useless to break up with them at this point. But that's not true. It is not too late to ever end something that's supposed to be ended. And if you're supposed to be in your relationship and you just really feel peace about it, praying for you. It's great. And I just know Like, just stay in it. Don't allow this video to be something that stresses you out. As always, if you guys have any questions, you can leave them in the comments. And yeah, I love y'all so much. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope that you guys enjoy the great rest of your day, night, whatever time it is. Love y'all.